Oh, hey.
Hey, Thomas, what day is it?
That's not-
Beautiful day out.
it's something. Oh, we're back
That shirt
with
looks familiar.
no, yeah. Don't
Fucking
worry about
froze instantly.
it. Yeah,
To shirts.
yeah. Hey, welcome back. Episode 2 of Mr. Sandman presents October Halloween special.
Kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, don't worry
I don't
about it.
think we need October and Halloween. I
No,
think we
yeah,
can do
Halloween special. Yeah, that's good. Anyway, hey, continuing our obviously our Halloween marathon. Uh, watched Halloween 2 from 1981. The follow up to Halloween. That's what it is.
not the
Um,
2001.
no, yeah,
This
yeah,
is a hard movie to find.
yeah.
Not really. I found
It
it
took
pretty easy.
it took me forever, man.
Mm,
I found 17 2001s, but like it was really hard to find like the original
mm.
Halloween 2 from
I
1980 or
yeah,
whatever.
I own it, and then when it got near the best part, like my Blu-ray started like skipping and stuff, and I was like, "What are you doing, Blu-ray? Stop it!"
He's like,
Anyway,
why the fuck you talking to me? I'm a fucking machine.
yeah.
It's like,
Hey, eh,
like stop giving me lip, Blu-ray.
yeah. Hey, Maverick, what's your score for this one?
I like this one a little bit better than the other one,
Yeah.
other than the first. I'll give it a 4.
Oh boy.
A solid 4.
1.3. Yeah. Yeah.
I give this one a 7.
Ooh.
I actually like this one a lot.
Um. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I was feeling around a 7 too. I will say though, I did not like this one as much as I remembered liking it, but it was still. Yeah, I still give it like a 7. I liked it.
The only reason I didn't give it higher, I'll let you know after spoilers. But
Okay.
I think this was maybe one of the perfect horror movies.
Yeah. There.
But
There is stuff I'll talk about that made me drop it too, but we'll get into that with spoilers for Halloween 2 from 1981. So if you've never seen it, if you don't care, listen in, or go watch the movies. It's October. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Beach.
Yeah, what he said.
yeah,
Um, so anyway,
or if you're
Halloween.
watching this in January, hey, it's cool.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Halloween 2. We mentioned in the last movie kicks off with Mr. Sandman. First time that.
Mr. Sandman.
Give me a. Yeah, first time this movie uses it, and then it continues later where it plays a little bit. Something about that song in this movie like makes it really like creepy.
spot on. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like if I listen to it normally, I'd be like, "Oh, it's a nice song." But something about what's going on and what you're about to watch, it's like real creepy when it plays. So,
All right, I'm gonna recall y'all something or take you
oh,
back.
oh,
You're right.
I was like, oh.
I thought he got attacked or something.
I thought he
He
dropped
like
a cinnamon
flung
roll.
back in his chair, which is the opposite of what you should have done
Yeah.
because he had to hit keys, but he threw both his arms in the air and went backwards. And we're like,
Whoa.
that's one for the blooper reel.
Yeah. My reaction got recorded too, so
Yeah.
anyway,
But,
Halloween 2.
so speaking of Sandman, you remember in The Conjuring where it's playing that bullshit song? It's called "Tiptoe to the
Oh, Insidious?
Insidious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you hear that song on its own. It's sung by a little guy named like Timmy,
Tiny
something.
Tim.
And he is the creepiest looking dude.
He's
on
a
the
creepy
planet.
little
Like,
motherfucker.
yeah, if you listen to the song, it's completely harmless, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're like, oh, this is a fucking, this is Weird Al, like you don't know. But like in the context of that movie, you're
Yeah.
like, this is something.
Yeah.
And Sandman does the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I guess this is kind of where they got that from.
They use it at the beginning. I'll go to the end real fast. They use it at the end too, and at the end might have been one of my favorite like music going with the movie where it's just his mask burning. And
Burning
like
and
that
it-
creepy, it was so cool, dude. I was like, man, this is how you end the movie. Like the ending of this one is so much better than the first one, I think. Which some people might argue
It
with
was
that,
pretty.
but
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I mean, that mass effect at the end was
that,
just.
yeah,
I kind of want to build the same thing in like a fire pit, right?
Yeah.
And like just have like the mask at the top and the
it
flames
was,
shooting out.
it was
There wasn't
so
a lot of
fucking
detail,
cool.
but it was just like a melting mass.
It was melted and it was like split down the middle and stuff. Yeah, it was real cool.
Pretty solid.
But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Let's start. We already do the spoilers or no?
Yeah, we did spoilers.
Spoiler warning, just in case.
Just
we
in
need another.
case. Yeah.
So this movie picks up right after. the
Right
first.
after, yep.
Like it even does like the last 10 minutes of the last movie at the beginning of this
Yeah.
movie. That's how like fast it picks up.
Yeah.
And for some reason they do a weird scene where like Michael left this, I guess, an imprint in the ground.
It's like
It
some
looked a
blood.
bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a perfect silhouette on the ground, like a fucking Looney Tunes character.
Uh-huh.
But and then it just goes, and
Yeah.
it doesn't stop at all.
Yeah.
There's one part with Loomis where he's like getting recalled, but that's the only slow part in like the whole thing.
Yeah.
How long was he in that fucking cop car? Jesus.
I know it's
Yeah.
that cop is the best fucking character in the movie.
Cop-
He did
pretty
not give a fuck.
No.
He did, yeah. He was like, "I'm making $50
Yeah.
one way or another." He was
Yeah.
like,
The beginning of this movie did give me something I quote every time we talk about Loomis, which is the when Michael's down the alley and he's looking and Loomis is like, "I shot him 6 times. I shot him 6 times." And he's just freaking out, dude. He's like, he's not dead.
it's in a Rob Zombie song too, right?
Yeah, it's in a Rob Zombie song.
So
I don't understand because he's just a guy. I don't understand how he's
That's the
not
weird
dead.
part.
That's
of, like,
yeah.
Like, there's a couple. That's why I didn't give this movie a higher score. Is because this is where they start giving him like supernatural shit, and at least they make him bleed because there's that poor lady with her knife and the cutting board, where she just screams randomly, because there's blood everywhere.
That's the
But then later on, he like just flies through that window. Like it's
Yeah,
really bad looking. He's like, "Zink," and it's like he's on an escalator or something.
That's the second idle hands thing. Is the blood on the on the sandwich or whatever, yeah.
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 So like, it's just so good. Like he kills so many people. In the first one, we were like, "Who does he kill?" And we named the 3 people off, whatever.
yeah.
This one, he just slays everyone, and
Yeah.
it's like nonstop. He's just killing.
Yeah.
There's no time wasted. They already know him, and they're like, you know what you're in for.
This movie it did give, it's the first time I think I pieced it together, or I always forget that in the first movie Laurie doesn't know Michael Myers is trying to kill her, and then in this movie the guy's like, "Oh yeah, Michael Myers," and she's like, "Michael Myers from the Myers house?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, she had no idea who was trying to murder her. It was just some dude in a mask." Which I will say though, that dude might have been the worst part of this movie. The nurse or doctor, whatever he was, where he somehow instantly falls in love with Laurie when she's like half unconscious the whole movie. And like, I was like, "What are you doing, dude?"
So you're gonna have to find this scene, Thomas. You're gonna have to put it in because I'm gonna sound like a fucking lunatic.
Okay, okay.
So he gets in the car and he can't start it, and he passes out, and his head goes forward, hits the horn. She moves his head back. I swear, this dude's neck.
His neck is snapped. It's
It is like in half. Yeah, and I was like, did Michael do this? Like this dude. So my least favorite part of this, and maybe I just missed it.
Okay.
Is there's like a really like great nurse. I don't know. She's like the Latino lady or black lady.
Is she the
And,
one
like-
that was like, "You're 10 minutes late to work"? That could be the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So she's on the ball. She's like, listen, you need to go find the security guard. This phone ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
The doc's too drunk, so she's telling him what he needs.
Yeah.
She's like the one in control. And you just see her dead randomly.
Yeah.
Michael never kills her. She's giving blood or something.
He like drained out her blood through.
Yeah,
through-
and I was like, what is... And she was strangled. And I was like,
yeah.
this
Oh,
is
shit.
strange.
Michael really didn't like that lady.
And then the love interest slips and falls and then
On
he's
her
taken
blood.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, of the whole movie.
And that's
And
it.
I was like,
That's how they write him off, basically.
but his buddy, ooh man, that guy like had all the moves.
He did.
That was my favorite character in
Yeah.
this. The greasy ambulance driving. I'm sleeping with the nurse in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, man, what a
Big Dick is in
slimy-
town, baby.
That's who it
Yeah.
was. Yeah. That guy. Which then I don't like the way they leave him. Because then after he's in that car, that's the last time you ever see him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he died. But, like.
I think he just had a concussion or
Yeah,
something.
like something. But he definitely didn't look good. And he ruins everything. Like, Lori's good. She's, like, in the car. Mike might have found her, but he definitely didn't do her any favors when he just started honking the horn.
Well, no, he doesn't. Nothing happens because that's when Loomis and Dude pulls up.
Yeah.
And Lori jumps out of the car
That's-
and she's like, baby, baby,
Can-
baby. And then she just starts screaming.
You
And I'm
mentioned your least favorite part. I'll mention mine now. That was my least favorite part, where for some reason all of a sudden she lost her voice. When
Yeah.
She's been speaking
Yeah.
fine this whole movie,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Help!"
And then like 2 seconds later, she shouts.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
as soon as
"They're
they close the
already
door."
gone."
Which I'm like, "Oh, they're gone," but then, well, I guess they were gone. They didn't hear her until she started banging on the door, and then they came back.
which is the second worst scene in this whole thing, to where Michael's there, but he's fucking like 3.5 miles.
Yeah,
On the other side of the hospital, like it's a red light,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Who's there?" You know, like so far
This-
away.
this movie really starts the Michael being slow, like he's never in a rush. Like I talked about in Halloween 1, like he's booking it down those stairs, like he's at a almost jog. But this movie, there's that one shot of him coming down the stairs where, keep in mind, he's not even looking where he's stepping. He's looking straight ahead, just
Sure.
like stepping down the stairs with this little scalpel.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And so this is I've talked about it before. This is by far my favorite Michael Myers look. Like somehow like his jumpsuit looks darker. The mask looks a little different somehow, and there's something about it that
two tone to where like half of it is dark and the other half is like white.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I
But,
the
I'm gonna
thing
keep shitting on Michael. I'm
Okay.
gonna keep it up going, but you can go ahead and
the thing I saw about that is that mask. They had no plans to make a sequel to this movie, which I'll get into more with Halloween 3 about what their plans were. But so this mask, like when they were using it, Nick Castle, who played Michael Myers in the first one, he would carry around the mask in like his back pocket. That's why I talked about Remember What Maverick's Doing with his little mask.
Oh.
And he would carry around his back pocket so he'd get all wrinkled. Deborah Hill, I think is her name, who's the co-writer. She works with John Carpenter on everything. I think they might be married. I don't know. But she apparently just kept it in a box like under her bed for years, and she's like a super heavy smoker. So that's why they talk about it's got a light yellowish look in the movie and stuff. And so it just aged over time. That's the same mask from the first one. It's just been beaten up and like in a box for 4 years until they made this movie.
you can kind of tell by the hair, right?
Yeah. They dyed the hair a little different, and so it's the same mask from the first one, but it looks a little different.
All right, continuing on the shitting on Michael part.
Okay.
So there's a part where she goes downstairs and she runs into the fat cop hanging,
Yeah.
and she tries to climb out the window. And Michael does the most least effort stabbing
Yeah.
with that scalpel I've ever seen. Yeah, and he waits. He grabs at her with the hand without the scalpel.
Yeah.
He's like, "This isn't working."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, what was worse, that or when she's in that elevator and Michael just like puts it, and then it like
His
gets
finger
squished
in.
a little bit, and he's like,
He's like,
ah.
"Ow."
He
He's like,
pulls
"Well,
it back.
I thought that, and I was like, "This is stupid as shit." But in his defense, probably the first time he's ever seen an elevator.
He didn't know how they
Oh,
worked. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure, right? Because like, fucking, I don't think elevators around all that much.
Yeah.
All right, just continuing the shitting on Michael part, or just the movie rather at this point. The chances of that random fucking dude, who I think is that guy you were talking about earlier, Ben Schratt,
Ben
or whatever.
Tramer
The chances of that
having
dude
the
wearing
same mask.
exactly costume
Yeah.
of a garage truck driver and William Shatner, and I was like, this is too coincidental,
Yeah.
guys. Come on, was that who that was?
That was Ben Tramer, who gets hit by
Okay.
the car and blown up. That's the girl who Jamie Lee Curtis wanted to date in the first movie. Or the guy.
I'm so
yeah.
confused. Like, they just killed this person.
They killed him.
Like,
He did.
So I legitimately watched this like 30 minutes ago.
Uh-huh.
So they're driving and they pull over and they see this guy.
Yeah.
And it looks just like him. So Lewis and the cop get out and he's about to shoot him and the cop's like, don't do it.
Yeah.
And this guy like takes one step into the street and then all of a sudden there's like a cop car going
Yeah.
70 miles an hour, just slams
Just
into him.
crushes him.
It's
And then he gets out. Then he gets out.
There's
He's like,
kids
he came
everywhere.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's Halloween. There's kids everywhere.
Which,
and this cop is just hauling.
what doesn't make any more sense is like, sure, he hits the kid, but like, he never stopped going straight. There was a van parked right where he was driving. He was going to slam into that van either way. Yeah.
But then the ambulance shows up literally seconds.
Yeah.
Like after the accident, it was like, whoop, whoop, whoop.
what
And
was
I
the
was like,
point of just running into this fucking person?
Well, according to him, he didn't know it was them.
Yeah.
And I guess the only reason they did it for the movie was to make it so Loomis and them didn't know if Michael was alive or dead. Because that dude got burned up, so they had no idea until they got the dentist. And then
Who
they
was,
didn't. Go ahead.
Who was in that mask?
Ben Tramer.
Oh,
a guy you don't know. You've never seen him.
Yeah, you never seen him. Jamie Lee Curtis mentioned him once, where she said she wanted to date him. In the other movie, the first one.
I have like, why was he in that mask anyways?
I-
'Cause
That's
good
Michael
question.
Myers isn't a thing.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not a thing.
the question that everyone's wondering.
Everyone's wondering. I don't know. Fun fact. So Michael Myers is played by Dick Warlock in this movie.
My favorite kind of warlock.
His
This thing.
son, Billy Warlock, who obviously was on the very first episode of this podcast with Society. He was a star. He's in this movie. He's the friend who's like, hey, have you seen our buddy Ben Tramer? He's supposed to be here, like, whatever. That's Billy Warlock, who is from
Man, I wish you
Society.
had told me that earlier. I would have
Yeah.
looked. And...
I wish Maverick would stop clipping his fucking toenails. Oh,
No, definitely not Cleveland.
oh, yeah. But yeah, that was Billy Warlock.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But other than like that, like I can't think of anything else in this movie that was real shit. I mean, you had the whole Loomis shooting Michael bunch and him not dying, which
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Doesn't
I
make
wish they
sense.
would have showed like metal or something, right? Like
Yeah.
anything that would explain it. But Loomis is like, look, he's still breathing.
Yeah, the
He's
whole
like,
time he's
nope.
like, he's still breathing.
Yeah.
Him.
So like at least they didn't like
He got
pretend like
stabbed
it
in the
was gonna work.
face though,
And he got
What?
shot in the eyes.
and in the eye.
The eyes is the coolest thing when he and like the blood tears come roll. Which still, I don't know how he's alive after he gets 2 bullets in the eyes. But I saw how they do that in behind the scenes. They just had like a bulb of light or blood, and when he does that to his head, it just crushes and leaks out. I thought that was pretty cool, but
I don't know. This movie's so good that like I don't want to go into details with every single kill, right? Because I want to leave it so people could see it if they haven't. But
yeah.
they're not exactly like Jason-esque, you know,
No,
to where he gets
yeah.
real imaginative. But
Yeah, Jason gets real imaginative.
well, okay, let's ruin the doctor because that one was so outside the box.
Whoa, which one?
The doctor where she goes in, she's like, Laurie's not reacting to the medicine right. And then they turn him
Yeah.
around in the chair.
He's
and
got
he
a
has
syringe in
needle
his eye.
in his eye.
Yeah.
And then he does the same thing to the nurse right
Yeah,
after.
sticks it in her temple. I was like, ah.
Yeah. And it is so gruesome and like
Yeah. Temples bother me. Like
churches.
my uncle used to like take his
Yeah.
knuckles and like dig them into my temples when he was like wrestling with me, and it would hurt and I didn't like it. And then there's that scene in Freddy versus Jason when there's the little Jason kid, Freddy comes up and sticks his knife into his temple and stuff, and it always bothered me. I saw it when I was real young and it messed me up somehow. So temples bother me. But anyway,
I thought you meant like churches and synagogues. And
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
I hate them. Burn them.
Whoa,
Please,
whoa.
please don't do that.
That's a horror. Like, yeah, that's you might want to edit the burn them out. Just,
Ah,
but Yeah, he like Michael Myers in the first one, as I could call him, Mikey.
Uh huh.
He he struggles finding his own. In this one, he's full fledged. Like
Yeah.
he's just killing everything. I don't know if he knows Laurie Strode is his sister.
Yeah, I don't know if he does either. Even though that's what they seem to think. They're like, he's been waiting for this day. He has some type of internal clock.
Yeah, and there was some weird thing where they were bringing up Same Heim,
Sam Hine or something, yeah.
and I'd never heard of that before in my life. I'm about to look that up
Which I
and see.
don't think is how it's actually pronounced, but because Halloween 3, I'm pretty sure they mentioned the same thing and it's pronounced way different in Halloween 3.
Because this kid was like 5 when he killed the sister, and then spent the next 16 years
So
or
he's
15.
he's
15,
21
yeah.
and it's been 15 years, so he was like 6 or something. Yeah.
So like the fact that he knew how to write that name on a chalkboard, where
Yeah.
he learned about that at all?
Yeah, who was teaching them all this stuff?
Yeah, like,
You learn things, man. You
I
learn
guess so.
but like Loomis would even said he was the perfect patient. He said nothing. He did nothing.
Yeah.
He just stood there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, but he learned how to read and write and all this.
Yeah,
Other stuff.
yeah. I like
So-
Loomis at the beginning where that kid's like, or that dude's like, he says something about death. And Loomis is like, you don't know what death is. And then he runs off and it kicks in the Halloween theme song, which is updated for this movie, which it seemed too upbeat for me in this one. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but
So good. Like every remake of this song is amazing.
Yeah.
Even like the dubstep shit you find on YouTube.
Yeah.
Is just kick ass.
um,
I don't even know
The-
Jason's song.
I don't think, yeah. The opening credits, the first one, it's real subdued. It's just the pumpkin, and like you can see that Michael's like carved into and it looks like he's holding a knife in the pumpkin. But this one, the pumpkin like splits open and there's a skull in it and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on?
Well, we're getting into the 80s, man. Things are kicking off, right? Like
Yeah.
people are starting to be like, fucking heavy metal and all that.
Heavy
Like
metal.
Def Leppard and shit.
Yeah,
So, but this movie's good. Like I said, it's so much better than the first one that I can't wait to see the third one. But everyone tells me that the third one is
the
polarizing.
third one's definitely polarizing. The third one, there's that scene where the kid comes walking in with the razor blade in his mouth.
Yeah.
Which I guess is when that was a big thing, when they were like, watch out for your
Kratos or
candy.
whatever, even though
Yeah.
it's, like never
It
been.
never happened, yeah. But that might allude to what the third one's about. So keep that in mind.
I will.
Yeah.
But it was, like I said, this is solid. Like it was action packed.
Yeah.
And okay, hold
Yeah,
on.
it wasn't bad. I
We need another second of
almost didn't
silence
want to
here.
kill myself.
Okay. Oh, I saw this. Dick Warlock, apparently the way he got this role is he was just working there as like a stunt man or something like that. And the mask was just sitting on the table, and he just took it and put it on, and then went into the like producer's room or whatever, and just stared at him. And the guy was like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And he didn't answer him for like 2 minutes. He just stared at him with the mask, and then he took it off, and he was like, "Can I be Michael Myers?" And the guy was like, "Yeah." There you go. That's how he got this role,
That's
apparently.
great, dude. That's great.
So this has bugged me because I've seen like the newer ones, and we reviewed H2O.
Uh huh.
I remember Michael being much taller, much like a bigger threat, like Jason.
Yeah.
Like Jason's a huge dude, but
Yeah.
like they never really focus on the fact of how huge he is. But
Yeah.
then you see him, you're like, all right, that's a
they
big
need to
dude.
get someone who's comically big, like just retarded big.
Wait, when we get to Rob Zombie, that dude's huge because
Yeah,
he's like
the
the
dude is
wrestler,
huge,
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dick Warlock is the shortest person to play Michael Myers. He's the shortest of all the Michael Myerses.
he just seems like an average dude. I think it kind of
Yeah.
adds. to
They
the-
even gave him lifts in this movie.
Yeah, because I think it adds to him. Like I remember I guess I should have said this in the last one, but in the first one, when he comes out of the cupboard and he stabs that guy,
Mhm.
the other dude's taller than him.
Yeah.
It's not like a fair fight. Like that dude would whip Michael's ass if he didn't have that knife.
Yeah.
So like I don't know.
Well, you say if he didn't have the knife. Do you think if someone came up to you with a knife, you could fend them off?
Yeah, probably.
I feel
yeah.
like I could.
But this was
like,
like
a knife
surprise
really ain't
attack,
much.
right? Like
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd probably take a few. Like, I could cut, but I think I could like get it away from like get me good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, if I got cut, I'd throw my blood in their eyes.
yeah.
Well,
Now you got
I would
herpes.
use that advantage. Look, now I got 2 hands and 1 arm, and I would use them both to slap the dude.
Oh yeah. I remember when we did H2O. I talked about how I didn't really like Michael's mask in that movie.
Talking about my herpes.
Yeah, and I said it was something about like his eyes or something. But this movie, you can see his eyes, but like it like added to me. That scene where he
Can
comes
you?
up and stabs the girl in the chest. He has the craziest eyes, dude. I'll put it up here so you can see it if you watch this. But he's like just death staring this lady as he's stabbing her, and I was like,
He
Jesus
was-
Christ! Thanks for supporting the show, Todd.
Yeah, I watch every episode.
Yeah.
But
Fucking
he's just, like I
loser.
said, he's just so good in this. I don't know if Mr. Warlock or whatever, is he still alive?
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
say so. He's in the third one. So,
Spoilers.
yeah, spoilers.
Well, he's an actor. It's not like
Yeah.
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 he could be selling
Which-
cars or something.
Weirdly enough, I saw he's still alive. He's 80 years old. Shout out
I'm
to
gonna ride him.
He's coming
Go
back,
ahead.
baby.
He's
Right,
coming
right
back. I saw he was talking about how Deborah Hill, who obviously helps make all these movies, was on set the whole time. And like when he was walking around, he was like, "Hey, how am I doing?" And she was like, "You're doing great. Keep it up." And then when the movie came out, she like talked about how like Nick Castle from the first one moved a lot better, and she hated how slow Dick Warlock was. And Dick Warlock was like, "Why didn't you tell me that when I was filming? I would have changed it." But so
People
anyway.
are stupid.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's weird how people just don't tell you like what they want. But
Yeah, you're doing great, you fucking idiot.
yeah, right. Hey, this is the only Halloween film to ever show the morning after the 31st. Every other movie ends on Halloween night.
Losers.
There you go. Yeah. We'll talk about. I know you said you didn't want to give away the kills too much, but we got to talk about. Yeah,
There's just so many that
yeah, we got to talk about my favorite kill, which has to be when he like boils that girl alive in the
She
hot
was
tub.
fine as fuck.
She was
boy.
fine,
I'll tell y'all something after this. After we
Okay.
get out.
But yeah, and every time he
Jerked
like
it to that.
every time he brings her up, like her face is peeling more and more, and I was like, oh god, please stop. Which, I
Hey,
like.
Tom, can you get this for me for Christmas?
Okay.
I'm gonna link it to you now. You can show it in here. I just want to give this guy some money or something if we can.
Oh man, he's signing autographs.
Dude, they have so many prints like that, and it's like from all of where he was doing it and everything. And they're all so good.
I saw he was the stunt double for Kurt Russell on
Yeah.
Escape from L.A. or New York, one of them. Yeah, he might have worked on both. Who knows?
Oh, he's in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh fuck. Maybe
So
he's just
sick.
like friends with Kurt Russell.
I think he's just like thinks he looks like him. Whatever.
Can we talk about the scariest part of this movie? Which is when the security guard opens up the garbage
fucking
can
cat?
and the cat jumps out. And I was like, ah! Like, I jumped so hard because of this stupid cat. Yeah, it pissed me off. Yeah. Anyway. Hey, it's that time of the show again. What's your favorite and least favorite? Even though me and Tyler already kind of said what our least favorite is.
I was with you.
But what was yours?
I think my most favorite was when Homegirl got through the window and dude was just behind her with the fucking knife.
Yeah, that was your favorite part.
I can't reach.
Yeah.
I have a second favorite part where dude
Okay.
was fucking both his eyes were out and he was just waving
Yeah.
like China.
His
going back and
movements were really good. Like something about the way he was moving. It was really cool looking.
Yeah.
We've already mentioned my least and my favorite. My favorite part is absolutely. It's been my favorite Halloween moment since I saw it, where she's like sitting there and she thinks she's won because Loomis blew up Mike, and then Mike just comes walking out on fire, and I was like,
Yeah,
"This dude is still
Jesus.
going." It's such a
Why
cool
did they-
shot of him walking down that hall on
I
fire.
never understood why Loomis had such a thing for Myers, dude. He was just a dude.
Eh,
Why? It's not your problem, guy.
Yeah.
Go away.
Well, no, that's the
Leave.
thing is like he's like a therapist, right? So he cures all these patients. No patient's incurable. He's one of those type of people.
Uh-huh.
And then he comes across Michael, and he was like, "This is a little boy. There's no way, blah blah blah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fix him." And then I think what he says after 3 years or 2 years,
Something like that, yeah.
some amount of time, he's like, "I realize that I can't fix him, but I have to make sure he never gets out."
Yeah, he said something where he was like, I realize he has no human qualities whatsoever. He's just pure evil and stuff. Yeah, and he's like, I think at one point, it might have been the first one or the second one, or at some point, he started talking about, he's like, I want the body destroyed. I want him burned. I want, which, so, Tyler, do you have a favorite moment? We haven't asked you yet.
There's a lot. Like this whole movie is so good.
Yeah.
I like the part where the lady drives up to the hospital after she argues with her friends
Uh-huh.
about like she's gonna be late and she's trying to make her walk home or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like he's in the back seat and like she gets out and everything and then he just kind of sits forward.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of
That's so
cheesy,
boring.
but I was like, oh fuck yeah.
Is that big? He stuck a needle in his head and like pushed air into it, right?
Well, that was a lot later.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when he first gets to the hospital
Yeah.
because
Oh,
he
yeah, no,
he
that's
hitches
what-
a ride in the back of that sweet ass Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just like laying down, and it shows him in the back, and he's like, he doesn't
Yeah.
smile. But
Under the mask, he does.
well, they make you think he's walking there
Yeah.
because he's walking down the street right after the fake Michael gets killed,
Uh-huh.
and then he hears in the boombox, and then he just keeps walking, and is like hospital next left, and then he takes a left or whatever, and then he just winds up in the back of that car. But
Yeah.
that's fine.
So I'll go in a little bit. So they never wanted to make Halloween 2. They never wanted Michael Myers to be like the thing of Halloween. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill both, their original plan for Halloween was to have it be an anthology series where every movie would be a different story, just with the Halloween title and then like some subtitle and stuff, and it would be a different story. But
Like
then
that Trick or Treat movie, right?
yeah, except like Creepshow in that it's different stories inside the movie, but there it was like that, but every movie would be one story, and each
In
movie would be
Hannaford, Illinois, or wherever.
in Haddonfield, and on Halloween. But Michael Myers was such a big deal and made so much money that the studio was like, hey, write a sequel. So they wrote this movie, and when Michael and Loomis get blown up there at the end, that was supposed to be it. That was their death, and they were like, all right, that's it. And then with Halloween 3, we'll go into that, but it's completely different. And then obviously, people rioted and, argued, and Michael Myers eventually returns. But this is supposed to be the death of Michael Myers when he gets blown up there. So, and
Yeah.
Loomis. It's supposed to be his death too. Which,
Wait, he's not dead?
spoiler, no.
What the fuck?
He comes back in like 4 and he's got some burn marks. he's like,
Jeez.
I'm glad I made it out.
That was a big explosion for some burn.
Yeah.
Man, like that really kind of ruins it because, like, I had a lot of respect for Loomis because up to this point, he seemed like he was kind of a coward, right?
Uh-huh.
Like he would shoot and run or whatever. But they
Oh,
let all
really?
that gas out, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, Mikey, time to go!" And
Yeah,
he was, like,
it's
didn't
time.
care. Didn't give a shit about
Yeah.
himself. He was like, "Let's do this!" Wah!
Yeah. So, but anyway, Michael sticking the claw of the hammer into that dude's head. I was like, oh god,
Yeah,
brutal. Yeah, it was. We still haven't there's some gore in this movie, but we still haven't reached 80s where like gore was just everywhere, which I'm not sure if Halloween ever does really. Like I can't think of a real gory Halloween moment. But who knows? Maybe we'll find it. Yeah. Let's see. That bitch licking Mike's hand when he came up and like put his hand on her shoulder. And she's like licking his fingers. And I was like, do you know where these hands have been, lady? I was so grossed out by that, dude. Yeah. coronavirus and shit.
Like I said, like it was a hospital full of people, right? So I'm like, there's so many people here. There's no way it might
There
not be
was
those.
nobody there.
Nobody there. I don't know why. Like, I get it's night shift at a hospital, but it's a hospital. Like,
Yeah, but it's a small city though.
yeah, small city.
Because even like Loomis even says, I'd hate to be in that small town.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But like, do they not have any like overnight patients that are staying there? I kept expecting the scene where Michael like goes into someone's bedroom and they're like laying there, and then he slashes them or something. But
Well, they do show babies or whatever, but
they do show babies, like 3 of them. It's like, okay.
and yeah, I don't know. Like he goes through killing a lot of people. There's a weird scene though, where the nurse is trying to escape, and she
Uh-huh.
goes out to her car, and it doesn't start. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
and then she gets out and realizes her tires popped,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that wouldn't make the car not start.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't affect the engine.
Yeah, then she looks around and everyone's tires are popped, and I'm
I don't
like,
know.
how did no one notice this?
Can we talk about when Jamie Lee Curtis tricks Michael and he like stabs the pillows thinking it's her? And you're like, oh, Jamie Lee Curtis got away. But then she just like goes into the next room and like closes the door and takes a nap against the wall. It's like, what are you doing?
That's like the reality of this subject, right? Like, I'm gonna tell everybody this. Okay, here we go. A little bit of real world knowledge for you.
Okay.
If you're ever in a situation where you're in a large building like that and you have a fucking school shooter, crazy person, or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes the easiest place to hide is just the next room over, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
You think
most of the
so?
time they're not going to go room to room, right? Especially if they're
I
looking
would.
for you, right? They go to room 101 and you're not there. They're not going to go, better check 102. They're going to haul ass down the hallway like looking for you or whatever, right? So this lady could have literally hid in any like dresser, closet of any of these rooms, a fucking bathroom,
Uh-huh.
right? Like anywhere, and she would have been fine. But
Yeah.
she just kept running constantly, and
Yeah.
that's But that's horror movie trope, right?
Yeah.
Like,
When she finds that security guard, he's strung up with like that light, just like that girl in H2O that I talked about was real cool. Where when they turn on the light, she's all strung up. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. So this is the movie where I talked about how it doesn't make any sense that Mike put that headstone of his sister in front of that lady. This is the movie that introduces the plot of Jamie Lee Curtis as Mike's sister.
Yeah.
That was born 2 years after he got incarcerated, and then 2 years later the parents died in a car accident or something, and so she got adopted by the Strodes. That you never see them, but then there's that one flashback of Lori's mom being like, "I told you, you're not our daughter." And it's like, how didn't you figure out this shit quicker? Like they were telling you it your whole life. They were like,
I don't know if your timeline's right.
yeah,
I think it was something like they had her like 2 years before or something. It's something weird. He knows that he has a little sister.
maybe it was 2 years before he kills the sister, and then
Yeah,
2
and
years
then-
later is when they die.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he knows about her, but she
I
doesn't know about him.
I saw a theory where they talked about when he goes outside with the knife. Maybe you're right, because the theory read that apparently Lori was in the back seat as a baby, and they thought he was going to kill her then. But
I don't-
you know.
I'd have to.
Also,
look
I
back.
should have mentioned this in the first one, but that goddamn scene in the first one of them like, Michael, what are you doing? And then it pans out for 5 minutes of them just staring at this kid with the knife. Like,
It does, yeah.
A comically huge knife.
a comically huge
Ridiculous.
knife on that kid.
So it's like it makes sense that she has no clue what's going on, but it also makes sense that I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what Michael's plot is. You don't know what his thoughts. Like
Yeah.
to me, I think he's a hero. I think that his whole family in his mind is as deranged as he is. So he's
Yeah.
out to kill them all before they turn into him. But like, does that make him a hero? No, not really. He's kind of a lunatic killer. But like
Yeah.
in his mind, if he's as evil as Loomis thinks he is, or,
Yeah. The parents looked real put together in that one scene though,
yeah,
which obviously Rob Zombie disagrees with that statement, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. Couple weeks.
Yeah. So I guess I'll talk about, we talked about the cop, but the best part of this movie, this cop would not leave Mike alone while he was laying there. And then Michael gets up and slashes dude's throat, and it's like,
Yeah.
Well,
That's a
he's
cool
like,
scene of him just sitting up and
Yeah.
he's like, he stopped breathing, and then he goes down, and he's
Yeah.
like, no.
yeah. Which
So,
also Mike does a repeat of the first one, kind of, where he sticks that nurse in the back and lifts her up with one hand, and like her shoes fall off and stuff.
yeah, that's
Yeah. And so
like physics do not support
do not support.
taking
Yeah.
something with that little tiny scalpel.
Yeah. But anyway, we haven't mentioned his head tilt yet. We talked about that. Every movie there's a kill that he likes, and he'll tilt his head. The first one, he kills that dude against the wall, and he looks at him, tilts his head. This one, I can't remember. Maybe it was the girl he burned or boiled. He like looks at her and tilts his head back and forth like a dog. But no dogs were harmed in this movie. There was that one dog at the beginning that barks at Michael, and Michael like, he jumps back. Like, yeah. But it reminded me of that scene in the first Puppet Master, where Blade was running and that dog comes out. And he's like, and he goes running off. Yeah. But anyway. Look for anything else that we got to talk about on this one.
I'm thinking, like I said, without going into every single
Yeah.
kill or whatever.
The nurse comes back that Michael stole her car in the first one. And she comes back and she's like, hey, Loomis, listen. And Loomis is like, the devil. And he goes off for like a minute. And then she's like, shut the hell up. She's like, listen to me. We have to leave. And then he pulls a gun on a marshal. Once again, that marshal, very cool about everything that's going on. He's like, what do I got to lose? Your life. That's what you lost.
You forgot the worst part.
What's that?
Where he goes, well, y'all usually fire a warning shot.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he just shoots the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
And I was like, what? What is going on? What am I watching? And I don't understand how this works. How he's like, the governor wants you back. And he's like, what?
Yeah, the governor wants him back to be a therapist. I
I
don't know.
was like, oh, okay, cool.
So, anyway. I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else, really.
yeah, pretty.
Oh,
cookie
the
cutter
only-
movies.
The only thing, once again, they do a repeat of my favorite part in the first one, where after the nurse turns around the doctor that has the syringe, Mike, once again, as MASH just sort of forms behind her. Which is always cool when that happens, even though I hope they don't run that into the ground. They did it twice. I'm hoping that it'll sort of stay away for right now. Come back later.
Well, obviously, ain't gonna be in the third one.
It ain't gonna be in the third one, no. But
So
anyway. All right, well that's Halloween 2.
you got any closing comments, Maverick?
Nope.
So let me ask you, now that we're watching all of these, all of these, Mike Myers, if you had to pick a classic killer, Maverick, who do you think you'd pick at this point?
I really have to Tremors.
Well, that's not a classic. That's not even
Fucking
like
Tremors.
that's not even a horror thing.
Pretty fucking scared of me, asshole.
It's
Maverick's like, I
Jurassic
had nightmares for
Yeah.
years.
I peed my pants.
But I don't know. Like
I
the more you see early Michael, the more respect you have for him. I think. I obviously, I have my favorites, and it's not him, but
yeah.
he's respectable,
I
right?
think-
It's not like
And
Pumpkinhead or whatever.
yeah. This might change later on, but from the tone of the first two, it seems Mike goes for more of a creepy, like he's always around, and then every now and then they get someone. Whereas Jason is just he's always there, and then, like, he's killing people. Just the whole there's hardly any plot. There's no like, oh, Jason has a
Yeah.
sister, like,
Yeah.
and so they all have their different things. Leatherface, obviously. Leatherface doesn't even really like the main. If you watch those movies, he's like just the
He's just the
bumbling
muscle.
idiot that
Yeah,
gets
like
pushed around by his family.
yeah, he's not even like the bad guy. He's
Yeah.
just the dude
I
stuck in a
think
bad.
a lot of people who don't watch those movies just think Leatherface, he's the killer. And then you watch it and it's like it's a whole family. Leatherface
Yeah.
is just like the security.
Yeah, he's just the fucking workhorse.
Yeah.
Right?
So anyway, so they all got their favorites, but or favorites? They all got their different things. But anyway, we'll get to
I
mine.
mean, I still think Freddy beats them all, but that's just me. He's
Really?
not even my favorite. Yeah, he's not even my favorite, but
I'd pick Jason over anybody.
that dude started off supernatural and ended supernatural, right? Like he ain't got no qualms about nothing. He's like, I'm out here to kill
Yeah.
bitches.
And rape little children.
Well, we don't know about that.
Uh,
He was innocent.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he was innocent, and the fact that they wrongly killed him was
nah. That Anyway, we'll get it whenever we watch the. God, that nightmare from like 2009. The remake is pretty bad. I don't know about that.
it's pretty good. But like 1 through 5, really good.
Yeah.
Well, let's not say
I really like the second one with the gate. Anyway, we'll get into those later. Hey, thanks for listening to Halloween 2. Mr. Sandman presents.
I didn't ask you. I just asked Matt. I'm sorry.
No, I think I stand by. I think like Halloween 2, it's so good. Like I get
It's better than the first one.
the first one started like all of this and stuff, and everyone loves it. But I really wish people would pay more attention to the second one. It's so good. The climax is so good. The music's creepy. There's not as many like sound effects scares that I remember happening in this one.
Yeah.
Which I saw John Carpenter didn't like very much. Which he didn't direct this one, by the way. I can't remember who directed it. But he still did the music. But yeah, I saw he was critical. He was like, I saw it and it wasn't scary at all. And it's like, neither was your movie, John. But
Yeah, it's really easy to talk shit when it ain't yours.
Yeah.
Right?
So, but anyway, but yeah. So Halloween 2, I like it. I'm really excited for Halloween 3. I'll since we're going into Halloween 3 next. Do either of you have any idea what Halloween 3 is about?
Yeah, it's called like Devil's Night or something.
I have no
Season
idea.
of the Witch.
Season of the Witch. That's
Yeah.
it.
Which it's called that. Weirdly enough, I don't think there's anything to do with witches in that movie. But anyway, well, yeah. All right, so that should be fun. Me and Bags know it. Bags despises it for some reason. So we'll see if he still lives up to that.
Hopefully he's back for that.
Hopefully he's back. Yeah, he was feeling under the weather or something.
For all the booze.
All the
He's got a
booze.
slight case of COVID-14, which is
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like COVID-19, but
5
a little
less.
more bitchy.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, all right. Thanks for listening.
when's
Okay.
the new? What's the plan for scheduled release? This is coming out Friday.
This is coming out Friday. Halloween 1 will be out Monday tomorrow. Which I gotta put that together. And then the plan was it would be Monday and Friday every week. And then the last week we were gonna have to do 3 somehow. I was gonna have to do Monday, Friday, and then Saturday is Halloween. But I've already messed up the schedule, so somewhere else in there we'll have to figure something else. So we'll get it together. Like I said, Rob Zombie will probably just put both of them in one episode. Because it's...
Ooh.
Never got excited for that. But anyway, we'll
Extra long.
extra long, yeah. But we'll try to get it out. I'll try
So
to.
they called me in college,
Hey.
old extra long.
Yeah, I got
Little
that.
they know it was ironic. So,
Yeah. So anyway,
all right, thanks guys.
yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll see you for Halloween 3 next week. Yeah, Monday. Check it out then. All right.